Welcome to this week's Treyvaud Travels, and I'm in the beautiful town of Enniskillen right here in the stunning county of Fermanagh. Now, I've heard about this guy down in County Kerry, so I've come all the way up to meet Pat O'Doherty, who does the world-famous black bacon. I want to see what all the fuss is about, and I want to meet the man himself. I'm looking forward to this one. This looks like the man himself. Pat.
Good man, Paul.
I've come a long way to meet you.
You're welcome
I've
on board.
heard so much. Your reputation is everywhere in the country. I'm just looking at the display you have here, Pat. I'm blown away already. I mean, you've got barbecue, you've got your bacon, pudding, duck, breast, leg, everything. This is just incredible. You know, I have to admit, it's just incredible what you have here. Full selection.
There's one thing I learned at school: go out, feed the world. You know, but I never thought there's as many hungry people about this part of the world. But anyway, it's working.
I tell you what. Well, as I said, I've heard so much about you. You've got a brilliant product. You've a brilliant reputation. Look, you've got all these sausages here as well, and you make these sausages yourself.
Everything we make is all produced in Fermanagh, so it's all hand produced.
Fantastic. It's that there in the back. You've got just in front of you. It looks like a smoked. Yeah, that.
Believe it or believe it not, what we found here, you know, the black bacon is. I mean, everyone is. It's become a really an iconic type of a dish.
Right.
People travel from all over for it, but a lot of people don't even eat pork. So we got our heads together a few years ago, and we actually created this product here. It's actually bacon. When we slice this here, this is actually bacon made out of beef.
Wow.
So we're bringing the bacon to another level in relation to we're embracing those parts of the culture that can't eat pork.
But just when you think you know everything, you come across something, and I'm looking at fresh griskin's. Pat, I'll be very honest with you. I've never heard of that before in my life. I couldn't even tell you what animal it comes from.
Well, I am glad you said that, because so many chefs comes in here and they say to me, "What is the griskin's?"
Yeah.
Now, if you came in here 40 years ago, you wouldn't even have to ask, because it was one of the staple pieces of the pork that was cooked in right across Ireland. And believe it or believe it not, there's only one of those in each side of pork. So in other words, I'm holding up two pieces, so that's the equivalent of what's in one full pig.
I couldn't even tell you what part of the body you'd find that in. Where in the beast does that, where would you find that?
Well, you know what I'm going to do now?
Yeah.
We're going to go down and I'm going to split a side of pork for you, and I'm going to show you exactly where that pork griskin comes from.
Well, I tell you what, I'm looking forward to this, because Treyvaud says he knows everything, but we all know I don't really. But I'm about to learn something new, and I can't wait for this. Wow. Look at this. Thanks a million, lads. Pat, you're about to give me a master class in a master profession of butchery.
I don't know whether it'll be a master class, but we'll learn something along the way.
I love it.
As long as I don't, we're gonna teach you something about the pork.
Beautiful.
Now, so the first thing we take off here is what we call. Did you ever hear an Irish term, the jowls?
The jowls,
you see some of the jowls. Well, this here's the jowl. So there's the jowl, and believe it or not, that's actually quite a fatty piece of meat. But in Italy, they would actually cure that again, like we would do the black bacon, and they'll slice it very, very thin for like a type of a pork dish.
Lovely.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's slightly smoked, but there's the jowl.
Well, you'll see in a lot of places as well where they talk about from nose to tail in the restaurant.
From nose to tail, yes.
The famous saying, we can see the tail down there, and the famous saying, the only thing you can't use in the pig is the
squeal. That's
exactly,
right. I don't know what you mean, but sure, it's all there now in the cooking.
So this would be the
there's the pork shank.
The pork shank. And the trotter.
And the trotter too. That there is absolutely beautiful for slow cooking.
Yeah, it's very gelatinous, isn't it?
Gelatinous. You cook that for a few hours there, you've got the most beautiful stock,
yeah,
and you can freeze it down. It is up there with the best. Now, so just to show you where the geography of this here, this is where the griskin comes from.
Okay.
And the Latin term of griskin, if you know anything about anatomy, is the obturator foramen.
Okay.
Can you say that?
No.
It's an anterior muscle, and it just sits in there beautifully. It's like what I would call a wee oyster cut.
Unbelievable.
And that's it out just straight. That's the griskin, the pork griskin, or again the Latin term of the obturator for aiming.
That's incredible.
You know? And that there, as you can see, the natural fat on it, and with the nutty meat underneath, and the texture. But again, it's a very unusual texture. There's a bite to it.
Yeah.
And never be afraid. I think Irish cooking, I suppose, especially when it comes to pork, unless you're eating something tender or you know that you've no resistance in your mouth, you put that's not
yeah.
Whereas this, there's a bite to this,
okay,
and it's something you'd expect. Beautiful in the barbecue. This brings me on to something here. Did you ever see this here? Now that you've been standing there doing all the talking,
yeah,
I need you to be helping me.
Oh, no problem.
We're going to do something special. I want to see, can you break that?
Can I break that?
Can you break it? How strong is that?
That's pretty much as strong as it gets.
That's as strong as it gets, right. So you give it back to me now. So I'm going to give you, this is the dangerous part of it.
Okay.
I want you to hold this knife.
No problems.
And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to bend this string over a wee bit, and I'm going to get you to cut the string.
Cut the string, straight through.
That's it. Now, as you can see, you've cut the string in half. Now, you're a dangerous looking man. Could you put that knife down? Now, as you can see, you've cut those two pieces.
Yeah.
Happy enough?
Very much so.
Now, could you hold those two?
From the top, or it doesn't matter
where? At the top, anywhere at all?
Yeah.
And those two there are going to go into my mouth. Happy enough? I'm going to see, can we join them together? Right.
You think you'll be done? Guys, I didn't see this coming. Okay.
You ready?
I'm ready. No way. No way.
And that's what they call magic. There you are now. So you can bring that home to carry with you and play with it all day.
It's not often Treyvaud is absolutely lost for words, but I tell you what, Pat, I have no idea how the hell you did that. Incredible. But now, I'm going to return the favour to you, because I have to go out to the island. I have to see these pigs. I have to cook with something I've never seen before. And I'm going to ask you, will you come out with me? We'll cook a little dish, and we'll have a bit of fun, and we'll see these pigs running around, because this was an amazing day.
If you lead the way, we'll follow.
Fantastic. I love it. Guys, how amazing was that? What an absolute masterclass, and what an absolute character. I could be out showing you beautiful shots of Fermanagh and Enniskillen and all these kind of places, but that's not what Treyvaud Travels is about. It's about meeting absolute characters. If you want to see stuff like that, you can see it in any guidebook, but you're certainly not going to see anybody like Pat in any guidebook.
Do you want to bet? I'm in about 20 of them. Come here on the island.
Pat, I've got the wellies and the jacket. Is there anything else I need?
Just grab them there. Let's see what you're made of.
I have to row.
This is your time to shine.
Jesus, you never told me that. This is going to be some crack, lads.
So we're now just right at the tip of Enniskillen Island. This is the tip of what you would call Pig Island.
Pig Island, I love it.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a wee look. And I have a special call now, because you know when you're in a boat and you're from the shore, sometimes if you can call the pigs, but they've established a wee call that I know that they may come out to.
Right.
How's your lungs?
I'm ready for action. I'm better than any Cheryl Cole. I have no idea why I am so excited about seeing a pig on an island. It's just like mad. And we couldn't have gotten a better day for it. It's stunning weather. We got a guy behind me who's almost as nuts as me. And apparently we're going calling for pigs now. I know, I didn't think I was going to be doing this either, but this is just priceless. Huh? What a place, what a spot. I love it.
All right, Treyvaud.
I'm ready for it.
Here we go, I'll give you a wee demo. Can you try that?
Do it one more time. Time to stand up, do I? That was all right, was it?
Could you get the volume up?
Are we calling chickens or pigs? That's nuts. Wait till my wife sees this. Oh, what are you like?
Look.
Oh, he's after running. Look, he's coming. This is.
There you are, you're...
Oh, this is amazing. Come
Jesus
on.
Christ.
Jesus, millions of them. Oh, this is priceless. Do you have this? Do you have the same reaction on the women? Do you? I'm gonna try that in the nightclub next time. Instead of saying, "Will you dance with me?" I'll just go up to some random bird and go, because it works a treat for patting the pigs. Oh, lads, this is brilliant. Now, Pat, what are they eating?
This is like a wee organic type of oats. You know, it's an oats ground down.
Yeah.
And look, you can eat it yourself.
You reckon?
Well,
I tell you what, that's not bad.
I'll tell you one thing. It's something you'd eat for porridge in the morning. Like, you know, it's the same thing.
They have great taste. But come here. Now it's as dry as hell, but it's actually all right. But when you're not feeding them, what would they be eating off here in the island?
Well, there's times during the summer now I wouldn't see them for 3 or 4 weeks, and because you could come on over here and pigs could be sleeping, and no matter how much shouting you do, you wouldn't wake them, you know. But they would eat anything from like local herbs. In fact, on the island we've got 7 different varieties of wild mint alone. Yeah. And so we've got tons of herbs, and obviously what you'd be under the general terms of weeds, you know, nettles and stuff like that. There, they just turn to them. Like,
it's incredible. Well, I tell you now, when I was in the butcher's there in Enniskillen, I recognised almost everything, except for one cut of meat that I'd never heard of before in my life. And you brought me to the island, and the condition was, you bring me to this island and I'm going to cook you something special.
Oh my God, we're going to get fed as well.
We're going to get fed as well. Well, you've certainly fulfilled your half of the bargain. So now I got to show you that I'm not a bluffer. I'm going to try and cook you something nice. And who knows, we might see it on the menu in the butcher's someday, will we?
Well, we'll give it a try.
We'll give it a try. These guys are amazing. Let's leave them alone, eating a bit of food. I'm excited, lads. I can't believe the effect seeing a bunch of pigs on an island has had on me. It's incredible. And you're right, it really does bring you back to nature. It means an awful lot. So this is incredible. Let's find a spot on a rock, or God only knows where. We're going to cook up a cracking little dish. Wait, you see this one. It's going to be beautiful. So Pat, as I said to you, when I saw griskin, I was going, what the hell is a griskin? and we butchered the pig, and you showed us exactly where it came from. And I said, I got to try and cook something for you using this griskin. And everybody's got, lads, we're filming, will you keep it down? We'll be on every menu in the sun after, because nobody's heard of a griskin until I met Pat O'Doherty. Now, I like this, you brought me a nice selection of them. So, what I'd suggest, Pat, is we'd marinate it normally overnight. Just a little bit of olive oil, a bit of balsamic vinegar, something like that, and then just salt and pepper. Keep it nice and simple. So we're going to throw that on now straight away. So I'm going to put a little bit of oil in the pan, hot pan, guys. And look, if you say my butcher doesn't do a griskin, even though you've shown him where to get it from, just use, like, say, the fillet of pork or something like that, cut slicey, or maybe a loin of pork or something like that. What do you think? Or
something a wee bit tender, but you still want a wee bit of fat on it, because the fat gives the flavour.
The flavour. Now, lads, look, we're obviously out here in the wild. It's a little bit windy, even though it's beautiful outside. But so we mightn't get the sizzle that we're looking for, but we won't be a million miles off it. And I'm not going to some people would trim that fat off it, but like you said, fat is flavour.
Natural, that's
absolutely.
What we call it, you know.
And the peppermill. And I'm going to make a very simple, the black bacon griskin wrap. Does that have a good ring to it? Sounds good.
I'm speechless for a change.
So we're going to put it in. Lovely. And we've got the heat on full blast. Now, and that's all I put on that now is salt and pepper on one side. So I'm going to put it on the other side. And that's it. Let the seasoning, it's all about just simple seasoning, guys. That's all we wanted. So salt and pepper. And we'll cook another 2 now. So we got 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're 1 griskin short. Lads, I say if any of you are around here in 10 minutes, We'll find them. So we'll put this aside, and all we're going to do is seal that up, cook it away nice and gently, and we're going to serve it in a lovely wrap that we made earlier on. Just just flour, a little bit of yeast and water. Or you can buy them in any supermarket, these wraps, and a simple slaw, coleslaw kind of thing. That we're going to put in with red cabbage, white cabbage, few onions, and a couple of secret ingredients. And if you give me 10% of every one of these wraps you sell, I'll tell you the secret ingredients. So very simple. We got a nice little bit of olive oil. And most people would be used to saying like a coleslaw with mayonnaise in it. So this is just something slightly different. Now, a little bit of balsamic vinegar. And you're talking maybe, everybody's always obsessed about measurements. So for all you guys that are out there, 3 parts oil, 1 part vinegar, or stick your finger in and use it to taste. Great idea. Do you like things spicy, Pat?
Spicy is nicey. Oh yes, definitely.
Spicy is nicey. I love it. So that's my secret ingredient of my hot sauce.
Hot sauce.
Okay.
Treyvaud's hot sauce.
Treyvaud's hot sauce. I love it. And I'm just going to put in a little bit of just ordinary kind of like Dijon mustard or French mustard or English mustard, whatever you want, whatever you get, and only about like kind of a teaspoon. And the reason why only a teaspoon is because my spoon is so big, it doesn't fit in any further into the jar. I love it. We make it up as we go along. So, I love this, cooking on the rocks, a bit of crack. So just give that a little bit of a stir in. Here, you can do that actually. A nice little, mix it all in, and I'll get cutting our cabbage.
Now, is this a healthier type of coleslaw, or what? How do you
Well, I always say,
define healthy? Like, you know,
well, yeah, that's the fad right now. Everything has to be healthy. My definition of healthy is if you cook something so good and give it to your partner, they'll be upstairs in the room within 20 minutes after eating it. And any calories you ate, you'll burn off. Look at that fella there now, look. Will we throw him into it too?
Oh, definitely.
A little bit of flavour. Anyway, so how are we looking at it? So you want to cut it as thin as you can, as julienne, as they call it in the trade, yeah. So just nice and thin, take your time. Or if you want, you can kind of grate it as well. So we're not exactly on the most stable thing here between 2 rocks, but you get the idea. So cut it nice and fine. So that's our white cabbage, or our Dutch cabbage as it's called. Trot it over to me there now, Pat. Beautiful.
Will I mix up?
Do, mix away. And now we're just going to put in a little bit of our red cabbage. And red cabbage always makes a mess of everything, so kind of leave it till the last thing. It'll be all over the board, all over your fingers. And again, nice and fine. Take your time when you're doing it at home. And again, you know, ideally, if you were to make this the day before, because if you could marinate them for 24 hours with a little bit of olive oil, you get even better flavor out. Same with the slaw. If you make it the day beforehand, it kind of softens up, takes on the flavor much nicer. But we don't have 24 hours. You're paid by the hour, I believe, are you? So, yeah, that should be enough for what we need. And we're going to put that in. Let's see how we're getting on here. Another couple of minutes and we'll turn them over. And a little bit of an onion. Red onion, white onion, spring onion, it doesn't matter. Whatever you can get your hands on. We don't do recipes, we just do fun and nice food. And again, try and keep it the same, nice and thin like the cabbages. So, beautiful.
Would you always put onion into your coleslaw?
Yeah, I just think, you know, not a huge amount, just enough to give you kind of like a little bit of a bite in it.
Right, so it's...
So you can kind of get it in the background and go, oh yeah, I can taste it, but not overpowering. Now, the next ingredient, the way the world is working right now, they would describe it as wild, organic, local, hand-dived winter root vegetable, but to you and me, it's a carrot, okay? So we're just gonna grate that in. I always say the more you need to, and lads, don't be worried, like the stuff we're throwing away, the pigs, they'll eat that, won't they?
Yeah,
They'll love that, yeah? There you go, boys. So the more you use to describe food, the less you know what you're talking about. That's my motto. Anyway, so we're just gonna grate that in. Now, anything difficult there? Pretty straightforward.
I'll tell you one thing, to watch a chef working, that's therapy to me.
So we throw that in, and in we go with our carrot. Give that to the boys. A little bit of salt. I always use, you know me guys, it's always flaked rock salt. That's the best. Do not use the stuff, the table salt. That's the dust that's left behind when they take all the good salt away. So good, you don't need half as much of it. And a good few grinds of the peppermill.
I often wonder about the flakes, that sea salt, you know.
Yeah.
Would you not be in danger of eating a big lump of salt at one and then no salt on the other, or does it melt into
It will kind of, dissolve into
Dissolves
it.
into it,
Yeah. But also, especially when you put it on the meat like that, it gives a great crust on it.
Right, all right.
So that's about 20 grinds of the peppermill. And would you believe, that's the slaw made. So let's have a good look at that, guys. Look at that. Simple, spicy, and you can see it already. See the way it's kind of softening down already?
I know what you get, it's beautiful.
So, like tomorrow, that would be even nicer. It would really take on all the flavors. Well, that was so easy. And all we got to do now is let our griskin's come up to temperature, and we're going to assemble the dish. Simple.
Happy days.
Let's take in a bit of scenery. Let's check out the pigs while they're eating, and we let the griskin's cook away. So by now you've seen lovely scenic shots and all the kind of stuff that the director loves to show you. A couple of pigs munching on stuff or doing kinds of things. But we are back, Pat, and our griskins are cooked to perfection. And how do you know they're cooked? You just touch them. So they want to be firm to the touch, but with just a little bit of give in it as well. So still nice and moist. So here's what I'm going to do now. Excuse the fingers, but you know we're out here, right? So only one person gets to eat the best one of these, right? And I know you're very healthy conscious, right? Now, so I couldn't find any butter in Fermanagh, so I brought my own up from Kerry. I hope you don't mind. So we put in a nice little dollop of that. And we get our flatbreads, and we're just going to warm it through a little bit. And all the flavour of the griskin is in that. It's beautiful. I'm going to make the sacrifice, and I'm going to give this one to Pat. So we're just going to give it there a few seconds. And we're going to, if you're not sure, just, how are you doing, lads? Now that is a brave pig. Treyvaud with a knife, cooking, and he comes right up beside me. How are you? So if you're not sure, look, just cut it straight through. And you know yourself with pork, Pat, it'll be pink if it's not cooked, but that's
perfect.
Beautifully nice, and it's very, be careful, that's hot now. You're worse than one of me kids, go away. Okay, so we're gonna finish that off there now. And you just want to give it a second to warm through, just to soften it all up. You know, heat it in the microwave, heat it in the oven if you don't want to do it this kind of way. So that's good. So we're going to get ourselves, we're going to make it like 2 a.m. style. Do you know what that means, Pat? That's when you fall out of the pub kebab. 2 a.m. So we're going to pick it up and we're going to put it down there. You got all the flavor. I'm going to throw mine on there actually. There's still a little bit in there. And now just a little bit of the slaw that we made. The spicy slaw. And this is so easy, guys. And again, look, a lot of people say, I can't make it, I don't like spices. Just leave out the hot sauce, you know, put in maybe a bit of sweet chili sauce if you want it a little bit milder, right, not too spicy or anything, you know, or just leave it out all together. And what we're going to do is, we're going to put in a lovely little bit of the griskin. I think I have a little bit of tin foil. You always get a kebab out of it. A bit of tin foil. We're going to fold that in and fold it over nicely into your tin foil. And the last thing we're going to put on it is just a little bit of sour cream. And sour cream is going to cut through the spice just a little bit. Okay? So just a little bit of a dollop in a couple of places like that.
Could you use creme fraiche in that too, could you?
Creme fraiche,
right.
yeah, absolutely. And if you want to get it more spicy, you just throw another little bit of the hot sauce on top of it. Pat, you have shown me the griskin that I never heard of before. I've tried to make a dish. I hope I made you proud of it.
You blow me away.
Take a bite out of that. I'm going to make my own, and we're going to see what it's like. Dig in. We good? He's saying nothing. That's always a good sign. I love it.
You know something? We're going to have to bestow upon you a special honour in the black bacon world. We're going to have to name one of these pigs after you. Which looks most like Treyvaud.
Hey, we better check him from behind.
there's a good lively one there, I think.
I love it.
Living in Enniskillen, so there's Treyvaud there all by himself.
Story of my life, out there on my own.